Hi guys, hope you're doing well. I'm a little bit bored today. It's a Sunday morning, the wife's working, I've got nothing to do. So I thought, why don't I do a video about a topic that's been on my mind a bit. And that topic is the designs that Sean Wotherspoon has been putting out to us. I, for one, haven't really been feeling anything since that shoe that he dropped back in 2018. So I thought it'd be interesting just to put this out, talk a little bit about the designs, and see what you guys actually think, you know, to the designs that it's been putting out. Just to give you all a very quick bio of Sean Wotherspoon. He's a guy from the States. He co-founded a shop called Round 2, which specialised in selling streetwear, sneakers, vintage items, that sort of stuff. He co-founded that back in 2013, and he'd done very well with it. They've now got a few branches throughout the States. In 2015, I believe it was, he created a YouTube channel called Round 2 after the stores that he opened, and the whole concept of the videos was just the daily goings-ons in his shops. You know, people coming in buying stuff, then putting the deals together, that sort of stuff. Occasionally out purchasing items like for vintage side, but it was great. It was a really good channel. I enjoyed watching it, and he done really well with it. Anyway, 2017, Sean entered and won a competition, which was offered by Nike, basically design a shoe. That's what the competition was. Sean put together a shoe that just absolutely smashed everyone. The shoe is, well, we'll talk about that shoe in a bit, but it's one of the best shoes that's come out in the last decade, maybe even more. It's just a phenomenal shoe, and that's where he then sort of really, his name become famous, and you know, and become a bit of a household name, particularly in the sneaker industry and sneaker game. Anyway, more recently he's been working with some other brands such as Adidas and Asics. This all happened after his partnership with Nike ended back in 2019. And it was interesting. I mean, obviously it was sad to see the Nike partnership go, because I personally, for one, wanted to see him do a lot more with Nike. You know, I'm a big Nike person. You know, that brand for me, when it comes to sneakers, I put before any of the others, but that's just a personal opinion. But it was sad to see him go. You know, I wanted to see him bring out more collabs with Nike, but anyway, that ended and he got a bit of freedom, and he was looking forward to being creative again with other brands. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk a little bit about each shoe, but we're going to do it in reverse order. So instead of going from the first shoe to the most recent, we'll go from the most recent back to the one that for me was the shoe. Anyway, the first shoe that we're going to talk about is this one, which is the Adidas ZX 8000 Super Earth. Now this shoe actually dropped last month. I personally don't really like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with the silhouette per se, but the shoe itself, too much going on for me. The whole purpose, of this Super Earth initiative is basically save the planet. It's decrease waste, recycle as much stuff as you can. Nike done a similar project, you may remember, with this shoe, with the Space Hippies. This was exactly the same sort of thing. The idea was, you know, use materials, recycle materials, and save the planet and stuff like that. And that the actual concept itself ain't that bad, if I'm honest with you. You know, I mean, why not? But anyway, this is the shoes that Nike come up with, the Space Hippie range. There was 4 different versions within the project that Nike done, and they're okay. You know, I actually like the uppers on these Nike shoes, but the midsoles, I think they're terribly uncomfortable. But I know some people that would disagree with me, but for me, yeah, they're terribly uncomfortable. But anyway, Adidas had exactly the same idea. Or should I say, Sean and Adidas had the same idea, that they was going to use recyclable materials and come up with these shoes. In theory, the idea sounds absolutely great, and it really does. I mean, who wouldn't give a thumbs up for that? But if you're going to do this, you've got to make sure that the shoes are good. You know, they've got to be decent designs, and people are going to want to buy them. Anyway, with this particular shoe, the ZX 8000, I think the proof's in the pudding, really. You can buy this shoe, only dropped last month, you can buy this shoe for less than retail now. People didn't want it. I think there's too much going on for me. You know, I don't really know. You know, there's so much going on with this shoe, I just don't know where to start. But yeah, for me, the idea was good, but the actual look of the shoe, it's got different materials, the fraying on it, it just doesn't float my boat. It really doesn't. The next shoe is this one, which was another Super Earth shoe. This was the Adidas Superstar shoe. This particular one came out in August 2020. Again, you know, this was the first one out of the two. The idea obviously was exactly the same. It was to use recycled materials. I think this was vegan leather. Again, you got the frayed type cottons on it. Obviously an absolute classic silhouette. It's the Superstar. But again, I don't like it. I actually think he ruins the Superstar design by doing what he's done here. It just, for me, it doesn't work. This one is doing a little bit better than the ZX8000 that we just mentioned. This one you can get still for around retail. But again, you know, people don't want to buy it. They're not interested in it. And I think, Sean, if you happen to watch this, you got to pick up on these vibes. You know, you got to go back to giving people what they want. As nice as the recycled materials and all that is, if it ain't working, it ain't working. You know, sneakerheads want something decent out of you. We know you can do it. So listen up, Sean. The third shoe that he's done since dropping that shoe back in 2018, the one that we're going to talk about in a bit, is a collab that he done with Asics. Now, this particular collab should have been doing big bits. I mean, it was Asics, it was Wotherspoon, and it was Atmos, all collaborating on one shoe. Asics, I'll be honest with you, they're not a bad company. I don't really own, I think I own 2 Asics shoes. It's not a company that I buy into massively, but they're comfy as hell, their shoes. They really are, they're hella comfy. But obviously, Wotherspoon and Atmos collaborating on any silhouette, it should be doing big bits. So the shoe that they chose was the Asics Gel Light 3. This shoe for me is the one that was most reminiscent to the Nike collaboration that Sean done. It had the Corduroy, it had the different pops of colours going on in the shoe. It should have been a lot more hype than it was. I did enter raffles for this shoe, I'm not going to lie. I think I entered 4 or 5 raffles for the shoe. I didn't pick it up, but you know, I didn't lose any sleep on it. It's okay. The shoe itself is currently selling for around 100 over retail. So it's doing the best out of the 3 that we've discussed so far. But again, you know, it should have been a lot better than it was really when you consider you've got Wotherspoon and Atmos working together on a shoe. The last shoe that we're going to talk about is obviously the shoe. You know, for me, it's a shoe that, it's the first shoe that Sean put out. I think this is part of the problem. He brought this out, and the problem by bringing this out was he's never going to beat it. I mean, he really ain't. This shoe is just so perfect in every sense that if you bring something like this out, how can you top it? You can't. The materials used on this shoe, obviously corduroy, as you can all see, it's just phenomenally well put together. I mean, the fact that he's actually used an Air Max 97 silhouette and he's placed it on top of an Air Max 1 sole, that on its own is a killer combo. I mean, what a combination. And then the colours that he chose to put on the shoe, I mean, just makes the shoe pop so much. You know, when you look at your pinks and your greys and your yellows, and then you've got this lovely darker colour around the bottom. I mean, this shoe goes with anything. It really does. I mean, I've worn mine a handful of times. I've worn it with combats, I've worn it with shorts, I've worn it with jeans, I've worn it with joggers. It just absolutely pops. So yeah, I mean, he done an amazing job with this particular shoe, and I personally, for one, think that is the problem we've got with Sean Wotherspoon. How can you beat that shoe? I mean, what suggestions have you got? I mean, for me, I would have liked to have seen that Nike partnership carry on. I really would have done. And for me, I would have liked to have seen him do something on the Air Max 1. I think that would have just been phenomenal. There was a few pictures at the time, going back, what, three years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago, that he was going to do another Air Max 197 sort of design, and it was like a pastel bluey colour, like a little mini swoosh in yellow and stuff like that. That looked absolutely fantastic, that shoe, and I really wanted that to come to life, but it didn't happen. We saw a few other bits and pieces, I think, as well, unless I'm going crazy, but I think I also saw him do some designs on an Air Max 1. I'll have a search about, and if I'm right on that, I mean, memory may be playing tricks on me, but if I'm right, I'll put a picture of it up here as well. But yeah, what's your thoughts, guys? I mean, do you think he can ever beat this shoe? Is he ever going to be able to do that? I mean, the proof as well is in the fact that this particular shoe now is selling for around $1,000. It's one of the best shoes in the last decade. It really is. In fact, it could be the best shoe in the last decade. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. I'd just be interested to see what you all think about Sean's current designs. I mean, have you bought any of them? I know one person who bought one of those designs. That's it. And I know a lot of sneakerheads. One person. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Let me know your comments down below. If you think that he should give up with Adidas, and if you want him to give up with Adidas, what brand would you like to see him go back to? But yeah, guys, hope you liked the video. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.